Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's such a fun ride, and you make it a lot of fun. You can find us on television, Channel 182, Charter Communications, Abundance Television. We are syndicated, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. So we're my favorite time of the year. You know what that is? That's summertime. We get to plant a garden. We get to watch things grow. I've looked at seeds. I've already planted some tomato seeds, pepper seeds, those kinds of things. And my favorite sunflowers, we're beekeepers, so the bees are going to absolutely love those sunflowers. And also to keep out some of the pests in the garden, I've got some marigold seeds going out there as well. So that's just the start of it. So I propagated off of one plant, off of one amazing lavender plant. I propagated 120 plants. And so I'm sending that out too, because I want a lavender farm. And just there's so many things you can do with lavender, and a lot of your basils and those kinds of things that are absolutely fabulous and good for you. So I found an article, and this is by DIY.PlayActionWin.com, DIY.PlayActionWin.com, and they have a great article. It's on 15 top growing hacks to transform your garden. And so they've come up with several just regular household things that you can use out in the garden if you don't want to use, some of the pest supplies that are out there. You don't know what's in them is the problem. That's why we raise our own food. I know what's in it. Don't want any chemicals, no byproducts or anything like that on mine. So if you would like to have, we'll start with this one. If you would like to have sweeter tomatoes, you don't want so much acid to them, use a little bit of baking soda. And I'm going to tell you how much in just a few minutes. Vinegar, and that's really good for weed control. And I'll have to tell you this, I have tried the vinegar along with salt, just regular table salt, just enough to make it a little bit runny, okay? You don't want it to be a paste. And I have put that on weeds before, but now let me give you a disclaimer about that. Wherever you put this, you'll probably never grow anything. That's even your sweet tomato plants, okay? So keep in mind, if you do use that hack, well, then just be careful where you put it. If you have plants that are just dying back, you can use a little bit of hydrogen peroxide. Now, go get the kind you get, say, at your department store, maybe the 2%, like that. And I like to kind of water it down just a little bit. Say maybe to a cup of water, put a tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide. That's all you need. And it is the absolute, you'll think that you have replanted, you'll be able to tell the difference in just about a week on that. Eggshells are absolutely phenomenal for everything. So let's go ahead and talk about some of this stuff. Okay, now you can use rice water for healthy roots. Okay, so here's the recipe. You want to save the water you use to rinse rice. You let it cool. Now, you never want to put hot water on your plants. And then you want to water the plants with it at least once a week. Now, this is the reason it works. So rice water is rich in vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that promote healthy root development. That's where it all starts. So you got your root, you got your little furry root down there, and then you got the stem that sticks out from that little furry root. Now, the health cycle is going to be your root. A lot of folks, when they water their plants, they water the whole thing. You don't have to do that. You get down there where the root is. There is your right there, your stem. And then you have your leaves that come out of that stem, which also sometimes will have flowers coming out of it. Start at the root. That's how you want to water it at least once a week with rice water. And that works. Okay, eggshells for calcium boost. Yeah, I say my eggshells for everything. So what you want to do is rinse and dry the eggshells. I don't do that. I just crush them and put them on there. But this article says, rinse and dry the eggshells. Then you crush them into a fine powder. Sprinkle the powder around the base of your plants or mix it into the soil. Now, here's why it works. Eggshells are an excellent source of calcium, which is vital to the structural integrity of plant cell walls. They help prevent tissues blossom, help prevent tissues like blossom end rot in tomatoes. That's why a lot of people do that. And peppers, and it makes them a valuable addition to your garden. Now, if you have if you like your whole bean coffee, and you like to grind it yourself, I've got this little cheap thing. They're less than $20. I think sometimes you get them for like $14.99. And it's a real small thing. And you can put those eggshells if you want to crush them that way. And you can put them in your blender. It just takes a little bit longer. Now, this is something I found with my coffee grinder. Okay, so let's just pretend this is my coffee grinder. Okay, so you're going ahead and put your eggshells, your coffee, whatever, inside that little coffee grinder. I think you can make better sense looking at my mug. Okay, so here's the mug. Okay, so you're going ahead and put the coffee beans or your eggshells inside that. You put the top on it. And then you want to grind it. Okay, now let me tell you a problem that I had, and I never could. I thought I was ready for another coffee grinder. I didn't have to get one. This is what you do. As you've got this thing right here, my coffee's in there, so I couldn't do what I need to do right now. So let's just say the coffee grinder is just kind of like laggy. It's not really grinding like it should. If you put your hand on top of it while it's plugged in and just kind of do that a couple of times, sometimes do this, just turn it upside down, make sure you're holding that lid on it, okay? That's going to shake it up down there at the bottom, and it's going to grind like nobody's business. So that's just another hint for you. Hydrogen peroxide for drying plants. Okay, let's talk about that. Now, here's the recipe. You want to mix 1 part of 3% hydrogen peroxide with 10 parts water. Okay, I usually do about a cup or 2 at a time, so I don't want to overdo it. And it depends on how many plants I've got. Like I've got 120 lavender plants. I'm going to have to use this recipe right here. But 3%, mix 1 part, 3% hydrogen peroxide with 10 parts water. So let's say you use half cup water, or let's say you use a half cup of hydrogen peroxide. You want to do 10 times that with the water, okay? Now, water the plants with this solution at least once a month. Now, here's why it works. Hydrogen peroxide adds oxygen to the soil. We all have to have oxygen, and so does plants, right? That can relieve and revive the struggling plants by improving the root respiration. Its antifungal and antibacterial properties also help protect the roots from diseases, giving plants just a much better chance at recovery. Banana peel. P-E-E-L. I know my Southern English, so it may sound like I'm saying P-I-L-L. This is the recipe. Okay, this is for nutrient-rich fertilizer. Okay, you got to have fertilizer for the garden. Chop banana peels, or if you have some overripe bananas, you can put the whole banana in it. You will chop those into small pieces and bury them around the base of your plant. This is why it works. Banana peels are a fantastic source of potassium. They're good for you and they're good for your plants. They have phosphorus and calcium. All those 3 ingredients are needed in plants. These nutrients are essential for flowering and fruiting plants, promoting better blooms, healthier fruits, and stronger plants overall. So let me tell you what you do. Okay, most of you have a grocery store that will have a cart outside or inside the store, but as you walk into the store, usually you walk is first thing you're going to see, generally speaking. Your grocery store could be different. So as you walk through, you'll be heading right to the produce section if you go to the right, and that's in most grocery stores. You'll see a cart. We call them buggies in the South, but anyway, you'll see a cart. It'll have fruits and vegetables and things that are marked down. Buy those bananas, okay? Even if they look yucky looking and they're like they're brown skinned, whatever, they're the best anyway. Go ahead and buy those for your garden. If you're going to use them for just a few days, you can stick those bananas inside your freezer. That'll keep little flying bugs and stuff like that from coming around. So put them in a paper bag or a plastic bag, it doesn't really matter, and tie them up, put them inside the freezer. And then when you're ready to use them, now you need to get them out. I would do say like overnight, going ahead. If you know you're going to be working in the garden, take those bananas out of the freezer, put them in your refrigerator so they can be thawing out. It'll just be a whole lot easier to chop up, or you can just chop them up and then have them all ready to go out into the garden. But it is a wonderful, wonderful addition to the garden. And you're getting it for almost nothing when they mark down the produce. Okay, let's talk about coffee grinds. Now, this is for acid-loving plants. Okay, so what you'll do is collect used coffee grounds and mix them into the soil for use as mulch around your acid-loving plants, like your blueberries. Your blueberries are going to just eat that up. Also, roses and your azaleas. Now, why does it work? Coffee grounds are slightly acidic and high in nitrogen, which helps to improve the soil structure and provides vital nutrients to acid-loving plants. This makes coffee grounds an excellent choice for plants and thrive in more acidic environments. Yeah, I'm just telling you, your blueberries are going to love it. Okay, now what about Epsom salt for greenier leaves? Let's talk about that one. So this is the recipe. You want to dissolve 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt in a gallon of water and use this solution to water your plants once a month. Now, why does it work? Okay, your Epsom salt contains magnesium. This is a crucial nutrient for your photosynthesis. You know, the sun, that's why leaves love the sun. It also helps plants absorb other nutrients more efficiently and encourages vibrant green foliage. It also improves the overall health of your plants, leading to more robust growth. Now, again, the recipe for that is 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt in a gallon of water, and use that solution to water your plants at least once a month. Now, this is the key to using this recipe, okay? First of all, you got to make sure the Epsom salt is dissolved. So it's going to take a few minutes to do. So this is the way I like to do it. So let's just say I'm going to use the recipe of 1 tablespoon in a gallon of water. What I will do is going ahead and put that 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt in the bottom of my container. And I'm going to put very hot water, because only half of it, okay? Not all hot. I'm just saying about half of it, or maybe even a quarter of it will work. That's going to help dissolve that Epsom salt really, really fast. Okay, so you get it dissolved. Then you want to fill the rest of the container with the rest of just cold water, okay? And that's going to kind of mediate out everything. Again, that's 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt in a gallon of water. And use that to water your plants once a month. Okay, milk for powdery mildew. Okay, let's talk about this one, because I had a little bit of that last year. Okay, here's the recipe. Mix 1 part milk with 2 parts water and spray the solution on those affected plants. Now, why does this work? Milk is an effective treatment for powdery mildew. That's a common plant disease. It also contains proteins and beneficial compounds and has an antifungal property, helping to prevent and treat the disease. On regular application of this solution can keep those plants mildew free. It's going to depend a lot on your weather. Now, if you have a whole lot of rain coming in, which is rare for the South, but if you do, in our area, we go from hot to cold. There's just no in between. So if you've been in a winter where there's been a lot of rain, it's been really, really cold, or maybe blackberry winter comes up, and then all of a sudden you have, this mildewy stuff on your plants, this is the perfect solution for that. I've heard of this before, never done it, but an aspirin for plant immunity. Okay, here's the recipe. You want to dissolve 1 aspirin tablet in a gallon of water and use it to water your plants about every 3 weeks or so. Why does it work? Okay, aspirin contains salicylic. Let me spell it for you. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering up that word. salicylic acid, which boosts a plant's immune system, helping it resist diseases and pests. It also stimulates the plant's natural defense mechanisms, promoting faster growth and improving overall plant health. Okay, now how about this one? Vinegar for weed control. We talked about that in the first part of the show. So you want to spray pure white vinegar directly in weeds, taking care to avoid desirable plants. Now, why does this work? Okay, vinegar is a highly acidic, which helps kill weeds by drying them out. It's an effective, eco-friendly alternative to chemical herbicides, and you don't want to use those, and they can be used to target specific weed problem areas without harming your garden's valuable plants. Now, if you really, really, really want to get rid of some weeds, and I'm going to give you this example. Okay, so sometimes you have concrete, and sometimes you'll have these crazy little weeds. I don't know how they do it. They'll come in through these little cracks and little crevices, and they grow like crazy. So if you want to get rid of them fast without using chemicals, what you want to do is get vinegar and salt, and any kind of salt will work. It doesn't matter what kind. So what you want to do, you want to dissolve that salt in vinegar, and you want to spray it on that weed. Now, like I said earlier in the show, if you spray it on, say, like a particular part of your garden to get rid of weeds, it's going to be a long time before you're going to be able to grow anything in that particular garden space. So I'm giving you that recipe just to use cracks and crevices like in your concrete that comes up. Let's go into a commercial break, and we're going to return in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there, okay? Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. and that's Eastern Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on Abundant Television Syndicated, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. We're talking about my favorite stuff. That's being outside, and that's growing a garden, and that's all the things that we can do for the garden the natural way. and I want to see you do it the natural way. Okay, so let's talk just a few minutes about a few other things we can use in the garden, and that's honey for root cuttings. I've heard of that. We're beekeepers, so I'm going to be on this one, and I'll let you know how it works. Okay, so here's the recipe. You want to dip the cut end of a plant cutting into honey before planting it into the soil. Now, why does it work? Honey has a natural antibacterial and antifungal property, which protects the cutting from infections. That's where you can have some issues sometimes. That's when you've done a cutting, you've done everything right for some reason or another. It just is not rooting, or it roots and they're really, really weak. It's because somehow it's developed some kind of an issue, some kind of particle. Now, the sugary substance also promotes root growth, helping the cuttings take root more successfully and growing into a healthy, thriving plant. So I'm going to try that and let you know how that works out. Okay, here's another one. It's beer for slug traps. Okay, so what you want to do is bury a container up to its brim near affected plant and fill it with beer. Now, why does it work? Slugs are attracted to the yeast in beer and will crawl into the container. Now, once inside, they won't be able to crawl out, effectively trapping and eliminating those pests. The simple yet effective trap helps protect your plants from slug damage. Okay, so this is my take on this. If you don't drink beer, I don't drink beer either. Okay, so if they're attracted to the yeast in beer and not the beer itself, I'm going to try something. If I start seeing slugs in my garden, what I'm going to do is get some yeast, that you make bread with. I'm going to dissolve that. I'm going to put that in some kind of a little pan, little something, and put that inside my garden. I'll let you know if that works. Because if they're attracted to the yeast, why not just use yeast? It'd be cheaper for you anyway. Okay, now, what about sugar for pest control? Let's talk about that one. Okay, what you can do is dissolve 2 tablespoons of sugar in a quart of water and spread on your plants that are infested with aphids. Oh, goodness gracious. In Alabama, we were constantly getting aphids. Why does it work? Okay, the sugar water attracts beneficial insects like ladybugs, which feed on aphids. Makes sense, okay? I love those ladybugs. And it also helps control their population. Now, by encouraging beneficial insect activity, you can reduce the need for chemical pest control methods and maintain a healthy, balanced garden ecosystem. Now, this is something I've thought about too. So I was taking master gardening classes through Auburn University a couple years ago, and I thought it was pretty interesting. They were talking about aphids and ladybugs, and some people will actually go to Amazon and buy a package of ladybugs. And you can do that. And then you just put them on your garden. Here's the problem. They're ladybugs. They don't know why they're there. They may fly off and go to your neighbor's house. So why not do the sugar? The idea I just told you about, the sugar for pest control to keep your ladybugs in there. If you buy a package of them, I think they're probably about $20 or so. That might be the thing to do. Okay, how about chamomile tea for seedlings? I'm going to try this. Okay, so what you do is you brew a cup of chamomile tea, you let it cool, and use it to water those seedlings. I'm going to do that. Now, why would it work? Chamomile tea has a natural antifungal property that can help prevent damping off disease and other fungal issues in young plants. It's a gentle, natural way. You know me, I got to do the natural thing. And it's a natural way to protect seedlings from common fungal infections without resorting to those harsh chemicals. You're eating whatever it is you put on your plant. I'd much rather have some chamomile on my seedlings than a terrible, what I'm talking about. Okay, now, what about this? Baking soda, we talked about that just a minute ago. Baking soda for sweeter tomatoes. Okay, here's the recipe. Sprinkle a small amount of baking soda on the soil around your tomato plants. Why does it work? Baking soda reduces soil acidity, which can lead to sweeter tomatoes by reducing the plant's absorption of acidic compounds. And the result is a more flavorful harvest of tomatoes that are less tangy and more balanced in flavor. That'd be a good tomato sandwich, wouldn't it? So I'm going to try that too. Okay, now, how these gardening hacks improve your plant's care. Let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, so each of these gardening hacks offers a simple yet effective solution to common gardening challenges. They're not only practical, but also often eco-friendly alternatives to conventional gardening practices, promoting the health of both your plants and the environment and you as you eat it. Now, whether you're a seasoned gardener or just now starting out, incorporating a few of these hacks in your routine can help save you time, reduce the need for harsh chemicals, and ultimately will improve the yield and health of your garden. They allow you to approach gardening from a holistic, sustainable perspective while enjoying the fruits of your labor. Now, let's talk about some tips. I think we got a little bit of time. Tips for integrating these hacks into your garden routine. Okay, start small. Do like I do and just go all out. And then, what did I use that for? Okay, start small. Okay, so begin by trying one or two of these hacks that you think will benefit your garden the most. Now, whether it's using rice water to enhance the root growth or sprinkling cinnamon, you can do that too to prevent fungus. You can gradually build up your gardening toolkit. And I've done that. I've used cinnamon as well. And it does promote health within your seedlings and in your garden. Now, be consistent. Okay, you got to keep doing it over and over. Don't just do it one time and say, well, that didn't work, and never do it again. You got to be consistent. Okay, for maximum effectiveness, consistency is key. Now, many of these hacks require regular application, whether it's monthly watering with a diluted aspirin solution or weekly rice water treatment. So staying on top of your schedule will yield the best results. Monitor those results. It's a good thing to keep a little diary. And then you can have that because and I'm just telling you, there's so much to gardening. It's more than just planting a seed. There's more to it. I like to put the weather conditions out there. It was a rainy day. Was that the day to do it? Seedlings, how much sun did we get that day? I noticed a huge growth. It must be because we had a lot of sun last week. So those are things you can monitor and put that in your diary. But monitor those results. You want to keep an eye on your plants and see how they react to these new gardening hacks. Now, some plants might respond better to certain treatments than others, so it's essential to observe and adjust your approach accordingly. You want to mix and match. Feel free to combine multiple hacks for optimal results. For example, you could use banana peels, Peels, as a natural fertilizer while also spraying your plants with a mild milk solution to ward off that powdery mildew. Okay, here's the conclusion. Gardening is we know that. It's so rewarding and fulfilling activity, and with the right tips and tricks, you can make your gardening experience to take it to the next level. Now, from using rice water for healthier roots to trapping slugs, these 15 top gardening hacks are tried and they're tested methods that will save you time, money, and effort in the garden. And that gives you more time for preserving these things as well. Another thing I want to encourage you to do is connect with your local farming. Like if you have someone like a farmer who is a natural farmer, you know him really well or she really well, connect with them and see what they do. I'm just telling you, I know farmers are busy and they have a lot to do and that kind of thing, but they're always eager to get out there and get that information to you as well because they want the whole community to be healthy, right? Some people say, well, I'm not going to do that because, he makes a living doing that. Sometimes I just do something just to see if I can do it, just to try it. And they like for you, and you may never use any of these hacks, but you're going to be the mouthpiece for them for selling their things out of their garden. Okay. And that way you see firsthand what they do. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge television talk show. Been here for 20 years. Hope to see you another 20 years. It's always so good to be with you. You can find us on television, syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. See you next time. Let me know when you try these hacks out, by the way. Send an email, Donna@donnasedge.com.